This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Dozens of tornadoes hit 6 states in the south, leaving death and destruction in its wake. Here's more.
Kentucky among the 6 states devastated by dozens of reported tornadoes this weekend.
I knew it was going to happen, but I never imagined in a million years that when we pulled into town that the town would be pretty much gone.
In Mayfield, a candle factory is turned to rubble, leaving some workers stuck inside, begging for help.
We are trapped. Please, y'all, get us some help. We're at the candle factory in Mayfield. Please, please.
As loved ones hope for more rescues from the facility.
I want to find my wife. I want to find her now if she's still somewhere safe.
State officials are preparing for the worst.
It may end up being the largest loss of life in any tornado event in a single location, again, in the state's history.
Governor Andy Beshear says at least 70 people in Kentucky are feared or likely dead. In addition to Kentucky, twisters were also reported in Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Illinois, where part of an Amazon warehouse collapsed.
At this time, are able to confirm that we have more than one fatality at that location.
President Biden keeping close watch on what he calls an unimaginable tragedy.
It's going to be a long road to hoe, long road for recovery for these people, but hopefully we can get through it. I know there are a lot of prayers going out all across the world for people in Kentucky and Illinois and all the other states that have been affected by the tornadoes.
Meanwhile, at least one person was killed when a strong storm system spawned tornadoes that ripped through a nursing home in Arkansas. City officials said at least 20 people had been injured, many of which had to be pulled free from the wreckage. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, who toured the wreckage, said it was remarkable that there was not a greater loss of life.
I want folks in all these states to know we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together, and the federal government is not going to walk away. This is one of those times when we aren't Democrats or Republicans. Sounds like hyperbole, but it's real. We're all Americans. We stand together as the United States of America.
This afternoon, President Biden addressed those affected by those deadly storms. He says the federal government and FEMA will do whatever it takes to help. The president is planning to make a visit to Kentucky, which is one of the states hit the hardest. And the first major snowstorm rolled through parts of Minnesota last night and into this morning. Snow totals have varied across the state, but some areas like Twin Cities have reported up to about 20 inches of snow. Now, let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist, Hutch Johnson with more. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, Nishay, good evening, everyone. As we began our weekend, things very quiet here. But yesterday, look at this storm system and the one that dumped all of the snow in the Twin Cities all the way down to Sioux Falls and even Omaha getting some snow. Also is responsible for the tornado outbreak that you heard of earlier. Here is a look a little bit closer at those, and 44 tornadoes reported from those storms as they made their way through, basically from just south of Chicago all the way through southern parts of Arkansas. Kentucky getting hit hard with some long track tornadoes, one of them with an over 200-mile track that made its way through the southern part of the state between 9 and 10 o'clock, and they kept rumbling through into the wee hours of the morning. Dangerous and scary. A little closer to our region, we saw 21 inches reported at East St. Paul, Lakeville with 19 inches, Woodbury also 20 inches of snow. Compare that with St. Cloud there, 3 inches as you approached the eastern third of Minnesota. Temperatures tonight fairly steady, quiet conditions, but breezy. It's these breezes that will keep temperatures fairly mild. We'll have an update to your first alert weather days for Wednesday into Thursday morning. Some new model data making some changes to our forecast. I'll have all those adjustments for you here, Nishay, in just a few moments.
Well, we'll be waiting for it, Hutch. All right, thank you so much. A Fargo man says he didn't think his day could get any worse last week after his car was stolen, only to come home to his apartment robbed. Valley News Team's Alex Larson spoke with him about how he is now out of thousands of dollars.
They stole my car and they came here and robbed my apartment.
After Kai Clausen finished working his shift at 3X Gear on Tuesday night, he found his car was missing. He had left both his car and apartment keys inside.
not really like happy that I left my keys in my car. Like, of course I leave my other keys in my car for my apartment because why would I bring them in when my car's right there? So.
He says he had to wait until the next morning to get let into his apartment. But when he went inside, he found the thieves had stolen some of his belongings.
They stole my car first around 7:20ish, and then from my neighbors that we heard, they were done by like 8:45 here. So they were like, take the car, probably like talked about it, and I'm like, let's just go and rob this guy.
Clausen says what they stole from his apartment adds up to thousands of dollars.
My laptop, my drawing tablet, my Xbox, bunch of my clothes. Haven't gone through everything yet, so I don't know what I'm all missing.
After knocking on his neighbors' doors, he was able to get a few answers.
I was told they're both white, young, one blonde, maybe facial hair. I don't know if my neighbor was positive on that. And then the other guy had like black hair, like longer, kind of shaggy. That's about the physical description of what I have.
Clausen says he's been using his resources to help find his things.
Yesterday I was like out tracking my laptop's IP because like it's still on somewhere, and I was in Minnesota, like in Moorhead, and I actually found a truck that looked exactly like the one from the video, and I was like, no way.
But he says the police are still investigating.
Definitely, like, it's very unsettling, like, thinking about it. Like, they want to come to my building and then, like, wait for me to come out or something.
Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
The West Fargo Fire Department responded to a fire which started in the laundry area of a West Fargo home. The fire took place around 2 this afternoon in the 900 block of 28th Avenue. Authorities say when crews arrived, a fire was found in the washing machine. We're told the residents, along with several pets, were inside the home at the time, but they were able to safely evacuate. The cause of the minor damage is still unknown at this time. And today, emergency crews were called to West Acres Mall after someone was apparently assaulted with a hammer. Crews were called just before 2 p.m. this afternoon. Authorities say witness statements and surveillance video suggest the suspect in the incident acted in self-defense. Fargo PD says no arrests were made and the investigation is still ongoing. Currently, there's no word on the victim's injuries. Later on Valley News Live at 10. Members of the Moorhead High School football team and players from the Hope Inc. sled hockey team battle it out on the ice.
Well, next, we're going to go over our first alert weather days for next Wednesday and Thursday. We have some pretty good sledding between now and then, but today, absolutely stunning conditions, and it gets warmer tomorrow. We'll have the breezy details on the close of your weekend and talk about that storm. Join me. Weather's next.